Love your enemies, and that includes the stinking communist. You can love a person, but you can come against what they stand for, especially when what they're doing is going to bring the destruction of the greatest country on earth. That's how we feel here in America, that we live in the greatest country on earth. And we're watching it disintegrate before our eyes. Some guy that we thought was, you know, fairly safe, not very bright, but at least he wouldn't be an extremist, turned out to be a bat boy, a servant of the extremist. And because he was known in the Senate as the stupidest senator to ever serve, um, he has become their tool. But at the same point, maybe he's not as stupid as we thought because we see a methodical man as it relates to China and the Ukraine being involved, it seems, according to what's being alleged today, to being tied to influence peddling and receiving as much as $5 million from the Ukraine and China. So there you go. Maybe a lot more coy, a lot more lethal than we thought. That's what is alleged. That's what people are talking about. Not the progressives, not the fake news media. They are embellishing the man they hate most of all, Donald J. Trump. Welcome to Pop On to Pop Off. I'm Jack Allen Willard, and this is the first Pop On to Pop Off that was actually promoted, thus almost negating the title, if that makes sense. Because pop on means we do it by surprise, and this one was promoed. So I could call it off the cuff ramblings, but we'll stick with pop on to pop off. And we'll say hello to Deborah Lake. Hello to Redneck Ways. Hello to Melissa. Hello to Gypsy Diamond. Hello to Shelley B., the Grand Matriarch, the one with the ruler, and she has sent me some specific rules, and I'm going to read them in a minute. Hello, Jack. Hello to the family. Hope you're all doing well. Looking forward to a great time here. Hey, Jack, love that shirt. I am now, when I go into a store, I'm looking for YouTube shirts. That's what I'm doing. And today, when Karen and I went shopping, she needed a few summer clothes after her PT, because that's twice a week. We went into that big store with a W after going up to Flaming Grill in Newburgh, which is a great buffet that I've talked about. I even have a menu down by my feet. Yeah. I have the Flaming Grill menu. Of course, there's far more things on the menu than is in the flyer here. But if you ever get to the town of Newburgh, in the parking lot of the Newburgh Mall, you have to try Flaming Grill. Now, they advertise things like pizza here on the other side, and of course, their wonderful sushi. But you don't get pizza at Flaming Grill. It's not that good. We have great pizza in New York. Don't get it at Flaming Grill. But yeah, like they have this stuff for the kids, like they have macaroni and cheese. And so Got to have my salmon and whitefish and spinach and broccoli. Notice how I mentioned the healthy things first. I don't mention that I had those little cheese puffs. What do you call those things? With a hot cheese in the middle and a little bit of sesame chicken and some lo mein, and even had a slice of garlic toast. I kind of leave that out. I did have some sushi, and it was just delish. We got up there around 3:15, 3:20, just in time to get the lunch price. But now they're putting out all the dinner stuff, and they put the sign up, dinner only. That's what they do in Chinese restaurants, dinner only. And I noticed they were putting up signs, dinner only signs on things that would normally be in the lunch buffet, like chicken wings. So, along with some, expensive shrimp, big breaded shrimp, and I don't know, snow crab or whatever it was. I don't want to break open claws. That's I'm fine with the lunch menu. So then we went eventually to Walmart, and I'm going in there with the idea that I'm going to be on the lookout for YouTube shirts. And there was a couple of choices, and I like this one. I may use this on the updated version of The Verdict. So you're getting a preview. I probably won't wear it till then. Hello, Andra. She's here. Hi, Jack and family. Yes, that's what we are here. Keto diet, Dr. Tomorrow, says Shelly B. Well, I I could never be a hardcore keto person. The people that I know that do keto, that would include Fred Rubino, who I showed you his picture with Priscilla Presley. She came to his comedy show in Chicago Saturday night. He goes on it for a few weeks, then he goes off it, and that works for him. But to be on it all the time is really not good for you. It's an on and off kind of thing, keto. But I'm never going to be in any given day 100% that. I don't know that my Atkins shakes, for example, that I usually have for breakfast for me is around 12 noon. um, I don't know that that's on there, but I do know what I'm supposed to eat and what I'm not supposed to eat. So, I never really understood the concept of a nutritionist. Uh, People that love the wrong foods know exactly what they're doing. They know what they're not supposed to eat. You know, they know where they can find tasty, healthier choices. They do. Sometimes your problem is you find something that's got vegetables and chicken in it and that kind of thing, but then there's a lot of salt. So, you know, there goes your sodium intake, which is not good if you have, say, something wrong with your heart, for example. Um, so there's always things you have to look at. You like the shirt? Well, thank you. Yeah, and there's no pocket, and I think that's cool that there's no pocket. This is not the kind of shirt that should have a pocket. So there is not. Now, if I wore this out, I'd wear it with my black shorts. I'm actually wearing my jean shorts today. I own now about 17, 18 pairs of shorts, I think, and I'm always on the lookout for really cool shorts, like some kind of plaid design. A couple of my favorites just worn out and I threw them out, but I do have a couple of pairs right now that are like that are kind of, plaid or what have you. Ah, so, well, let's see, Shelley. Let me get to your rules that you gave me. Certain things we shouldn't say. Now, it is the Grand Matriarch, Shelley B from Australia, that has that big ruler, and you don't want to encounter it. You don't want to encounter that. Got about 11 people watching right now in this pop on to pop off. Okay, let's see. What did Shelley write here? Do not use the word boob, not even when referring to Adam Schiff, Elizabeth Warren, or Dolly Parton. Never use the word wiener to describe a hot dog. Supplement Frank's, tube steak, or Poor Family Supper. Stress Modest Dress, G-rated movies, and only music by Doris Day, Ethel Merman, Roy Rogers, and Bing Crosby. So that's from the Grand Matriarch. Maybe not. I'm a fibbing. I want a defibrillator and I'm fibbing. Let me put all my designer specs, right, from Cohen's Optical. So here we are on the day that President Trump was indicted on 7 counts. 7 counts, they're saying. What we know about, and I've got the TV on here. Trump's attorney is responding to the indictment right now with Laura Ingraham as we do this live. Obstruction of justice, conspiracy, illegal retention of classified material. And of course, this is the day that the Biden thing broke, alleging that he is someone who participated in engineered influence peddling while he was the vice president of the United States. While he was the vice president of the United States and a senator, he took classified documents and put them in every place you can imagine, from Delaware, Chinatown, and of course his garage where the Corvette was parked. And often the garage door was open and there were classified documents on the floor, in stacks on the floor. But we have something going on right now that is unprecedented. We have people that are focused on making sure Donald Trump never becomes president again, but also becoming a instrument for the progressive movement, which is anything but something that would honor the values of America, the Constitution of the United States. It's just, it's like one of those Liam Neeson movies now in real time. It's one of those spy books, so to speak, when good people, for some reason, stop doing good. And when I say good, we always have to qualify that amongst ourselves, because we're all sinners who fall short and make bad choices sometimes. But we see people that are thumbing their nose at fairness, at objectivity, at a whole group of people, over 75 million people in America, that subscribe to the conservative movement and are trying to hold back evil forces that are all over, just like it said would happen in the Bible. So these are really scary times. They are really scary times. Scott Baker joins us and says, release the Kraken. Kathleen is here. Hello, Kathleen. Hi, everybody. Judy Wright is checking in. How are you? I'm glad you're here. And Nancy DeMarco joins us as well. Our Saturday night family is lining up. 17 people watching right now in a scheduled pop on to pop off, which kind of is against the definition, I suppose. Yeah, they're talking about the indictment is about election interference, not that Trump is looking to interfere with the election, but that's exactly the goal of the progressive agenda. They just can't, they are afraid of Donald Trump running for president again. And because they're doing all these things, doing things that they have never done before, They are firing up the base and almost assuring Trump the nomination unless they can bring him down before it. Unless they can bring him down before it. So it's not looking like it's going to be the season for Ron DeSantis, but if before the election they can bring Trump down, then that would be good news for Ron DeSantis. The others that are running, um, in my opinion, don't have a chance. And there's some good people there, including Vivek Ramaswamy, and there are some people and Tim Scott, for example, excellent. He held his own on The View with those evil witches. He did. He held his own, and even Sonny Hostin couldn't couldn't do a takedown. She held back somewhat because I think she understood at some level that she was in the presence of a great man, and something told her that it would be ill advised to try to be her usual obnoxious self. So this is where we are right now. This is where we are, and we're just going to have to see how this plays out. The President Trump, has a wonderful legal team. Alan Dershowitz says this would have to rise to a level that is far more serious than he thinks it will, for them to have any chance at this. That this is most likely a travesty in American justice. Um, and some said that they thought that today, along with President Trump being indicted, because they've been talking about this during the week, they would also indict Hunter Biden. But of course, they haven't. They haven't. And I understand part of the Biden family, maybe Hunter, is overseas, hiding out. And the president was questioned today. They cornered him, and he just said, "Oh yeah, that's what they're saying. Well, where's the money? Where's the money?" And then he walked away, as he always does. Dr. Jill Biden would tell him to do that. I just never figured that this kind of evilness, the opposite of people that would claim to be people of faith, um, would behave the way they're behaving, and knowing that they are destroying America as they do it. And is this going to lead to a civil war in America? Are we getting close to a civil war? Because we've got to worry about a nuclear war. President Biden, since everything he has implemented has been the wrong decision, has brought us closer to nuclear war with China or Russia than ever before. So it's a scary time we live in, but I put my faith in Jesus Christ, and I've said before I don't see a nuclear war in the Bible, so we'll just do what we're supposed to be doing, is pray and be effective when you can. You can't no longer say that I don't do politics, because politics are going to govern your future. All it takes for evil to flourish is for good men, for good women to do nothing. Hello, J Masters. Father is here. Yes. Oh, you're daddy now? Big daddy, right? I know you are. Big J here, checking in from the road. Yeah. I always like to know where you are, but I think you don't want to tell me for reasons that I could conceive of. Judy Wright, hi. Are you talking about the Florida indictment, about the documents? That's right. This is the Mar-a-Lago 7-count indictment, Judy Wright. And this is just the latest, because that prosecutor in Georgia in Atlanta wants to charge him as well. And then, we already have Stormy Daniels in the mix, and we have the thing with Jean Carroll, what's her name? The woman from New York. And of course, Trump continued to speak out about that, saying more than he doesn't even know who the hell she is. And now she wants $5 million in defamation. Of course, this will be tied up in the courts for a long time. She's not going to be receiving 10 cents, but it will be. Yes, my fans call me father. You remind me of that movie I was an extra in 1980, Blinded by the Light, where the central figure in this cult that I was a cult member in was called simply Father. The man never had a line in the movie, but he would just come out in a white suit, bald head, tall, good-looking man, Keith something, and he would just extend his hands for the blessing. Never had a line. And of course, that was Christy McNichol. That's the reason I was there. Of course, I thought it was really cool to be in Pasadena. I never saw the little old lady, though, speeding by or anything like that. Go, Granny, go, Granny, go, Granny, go. I never saw her whiz by in a Corvette or anything like that. But Pasadena was nice. And look who's the first to say, well, hello, Father. Things that make you go, Charlotte is here. Hello, Jack from Missouri. I'm glad you're with us as well. So we're just popping on for a little while here. I don't think we'll do 2 hours like the last time we did pop on to pop off. Mark Levin was on with Sean Hannity, and man, is he upset. He said, June the 8th, 2023 is the day of insurrection, not June 6th. It is the evil progressives who bring and drag America into a hellhole. That's a quote from Mark Levin. Biden allegedly received $5 million from the Ukraine and China, and as did Hunter Biden. We're talking about things like money laundering and things like that. But you have to wonder where this is going to go, because Hillary, who destroyed her computers, bit her hard drives, and erased a ton of evidence. She got away with it all. She got away with it all, and probably a whole lot more. Rhonda Ledbetter is here saying hello, family. And I think that's we have about 26 watching right now. If you haven't identified yourself, come on in and say hello. We would love to hear from you and know where you are watching from. I do have a list of states and countries where they watch our live broadcast, like Worldwide Ramblings. That'll be Saturday night at 11 o'clock. We'll be talking about a whole bunch of things then. I'll do a monologue. I have a new video on Tucker Carlson. And the name of the video is Fox News should bring back Tucker Carlson. That would make the most sense. He debuted his show on Twitter. It was loaded yesterday, and I think that 15-minute show, which looked like he's doing it in his designer tool shed, got 100 million views. 100 million views. He had 78 million views on another one of his appearances, a short one, and the first one was 57 million. Now, his ratings on Fox were basically between 3 and 6 million, usually under 5 million. But that's a lot, when you consider that someone like Anderson Cooper is lucky to get anywhere near 350,000, So the audio is breaking up. Anybody else experiencing that? The nerd office is here. The nerd office. I remember we've heard from you before from Texas. Well, that's cool. I have ties in Texas since my both my children live in Texas, but my son is a truck driver, so he's often on the road. But he had a short week again. He had a short week, and he had company. He had his first guest writer with him. Um, Male Beagle. Yeah, I remember your Beagle. Smooth on my end, says Andra. Yeah, sometimes it's just, it's just something with your service or your your personal service, I guess. Paul Bennett is here. Hey, Jack, Paul from Baltimore, Maryland. Well, hello, Paul. I'm glad you're here. I was in your city ever so briefly as I was coming back from Port St. Lucie in early March, and I rode through that big tunnel, and I got a big bill in the mail, tolls by mail, but nothing like I just got from the state of New Jersey. I'll tell you about that. So yeah, that was 95 was completely clogged. So Alexa, is it Alexa on GPS? It sounds like her. I used to call her Pam, but then I realized she sounds just like Alexa. I'm a little slow on the draw. So I knew I could see 95 as I was getting ready to approach it, and I could see it was clogged. So sure enough, the next thing you know, I'm going through that big tunnel in Baltimore. It would be a while before I got on 95. And when I did get on 95, the traffic was running smoothly. So Alexa knows what she's doing. So that cost me what, $12 to go through that. I don't have Easy Pass. I just feel I don't need it, but I have been using it more with Karen going down to Hackensack to see her surgeon after surgery now, and with me going to Westchester Medical Center, as I will be, yes, tomorrow, to get the results from my cardiac MRI. My cardiac MRI, see how my cardiomyopathy is doing. And I have a feeling that I'm not going to be getting my defibrillator as a backup just in case, because they're going to say it's not serious enough. If it had been serious enough, I had the test last week. Say I had it on Thursday of last week, I would, that they say they read the results within 3 days. I would have gotten a call on Monday or Tuesday saying, forget about that appointment on Friday. Just go right over to Westchester Medical Center and they'll be checking you in and do a procedure for you. So that's that tells me a lot, Silence is silence is golden, but in radio it can get you fired. Oh, yeah, he's I'll let you tell your black lot lizard story, Jay. I'll stay away from that one. I read that once. Your lot lizard. Lot lizards. Oh, and I never finished that story though. When I was working for, this is one of those times when I had a story and I let it go. But I was maybe in the 90s, the early 90s. I was working for Security Patrol of America, and they had various accounts, but this was going to be a new one for me. I would have a patrol car and I would go to Truck Stops of America in Maybrook, New York. And my job was simply, say, early 90s, was to patrol the parking lot looking for lot lizards and chase them away. Lot lizards, of course, are prostitutes. And they had a nickname for what I did. The second word was posse, and the first word kind of rhymed with the second word. But I won't use that here because I'll get the ruler. The grand matriarch is a tough cookie, and I've asked her to dress up as Mother Bernadette, and we'll see if she does. We'll see if she does. Keisha, Keisha. Hmm. You're gonna get the ruler from our grand matriarch, I think. But anyway, I had to join Twitter real quick because I found out that Tucker had done a 15-minute show this time, calling it really his first Twitter show, and that they weren't going to be showing that on YouTube in its entirety. Although I think Dan Bongino showed it on Rumble. So as soon as I realized I couldn't see the whole 15 minutes, I said, well, it's time. I have to go on Twitter. I'm not happy with my handle yet, so I won't give that out. But I am on Twitter, and I'm, starting off brand new, so no one's going to see anything that I tweet. It's kind of like, I do this Tucker Carlson video that Fox should bring back Tucker. I mean, with these kind of hits on Twitter, it is obvious that he is an icon and there's nobody like him. I've enjoyed the people that have filled in for him, Trey Gowdy, Lawrence Jones, Johnny Jones, is it? Or Jay Jones, whatever his name is, the great guy who lost his legs in combat. I guess it was Afghanistan. Um, and Kayleigh McEnany and Harris Faulkner this week. I thought Trey was the best of them all. From South Carolina, Trey Gowdy, the former prosecutor, he just was so relaxed. I mean, he was literally crossing his legs and just very easy style. He says, he was, of course, a congressman for, I think, 12 years, and said he just got frustrated with the inability to get anything done. So he says, so I got into television and they wanted me at Fox, and I appreciate that so much. I find when you get into television, you do a lot of it. He's got his Sunday nights with Trey Gowdy on Fox, 9 o'clock now, because the man I thought could conceivably replace Tucker just and at least get some ratings was Steve Hilton from Australia, because he had the Tucker sting. Of course, Tucker was more than just having a sting, and going after Biden that way. Tucker has so many gifts. He was brilliant in this 15-minute video on Twitter. Now Fox is saying, well, he breached his contract and they're trying to stop him from doing that. He says they breached it first when they allowed footage to be shown of Tucker once the show had ended, saying some salty things and what have you. Nothing really damaging, though. Guy talk, but he was very nice to his crew. He did refer to some woman, and I'm not even sure. He said, I wonder if she's yummy. That's guy talk. That's how we talk. That's locker room talk. Um, what President Trump said to Billy Bush didn't surprise too many men. I'm sorry, but it didn't. It didn't. And its bravado surprised too many men. I'm sorry, but it didn't. It didn't. And it's bravado. It doesn't mean that President Trump ever went up to a woman and did that. You know what I mean? Not uninvited. Certainly, he didn't. But those who invite you later on go on to accuse you. So when they know you're rich, when they know there's a payday involved. Kathleen, I had lightning strike 10 feet from me when I stood in my doorway. Sounded like a loud gunshot with a red burst of flame. Scared me to death. Almost to death, Kathleen. Yeah, there you go. Only a small amount of people die from lightning strikes every year, but you you came close to being in that small statistic. Absolutely. I'm glad you are safe. Very, very good. I don't talk about, I don't try to understand the protection of God, because he has mercy on who he wants to have mercy on. There's no guarantee that if you pray for healing, you're going to be healed. Everything is in God's hands, his wisdom, which is far above my wisdom in every way, shape, and form. So, yeah, I mean, I would really like it if Tucker and Fox made up. Obviously, with the amount of viewers he's getting on Twitter, his 3 to 6 million audience would likely expand, and they should still let him do something on Twitter because Elon opened that platform up to him with welcome arms. But it's got to be a full show, and it's got to be something where the older people who love Tucker can grab the clicker, the fire stick in this case, and they're saying that Mark Meadows' testimony was cited as a key to the Trump indictment. Mark Meadows. It's when your friends turn against you. Um, so this is going to play out over time. I think they're going to try to push it quickly, of course, because they have an agenda, and we all know that. Um, so um, I would love it if Rupert Murdoch would realize he made a mistake and that they would get together with Tucker and get this resolved, and that Tucker would return to the 8 o'clock time slot. The only negative thing about Tucker uh, is that the progressives hate him so much, like they hate Trump, that they go after the people who try to sponsor Tucker Carlson. And there was some talk that since Tucker has left Fox, that some sponsors are coming back that were afraid. They wanted to advertise with Tucker, but he's so biting. He's uh, so direct in how he presents the truth often that it causes the progressives to threaten the sponsors. They have so many evil tactics. These people don't care a damn about America. They care about their own insane agenda. They are fueled by the free stuff crowd that never plan for their retirement and what have you, things like that. And they are more than willing. They are more than willing to destroy America. After all, I mean, they're not going to be around to see it in some cases. Um, when you start putting your faith in someone like AOC, you can define yourself as not. I'm not a smart man. You can say if you're a guy, I'm not a smart man, and there they are raising hell at her town meetings, or you can't call Brooklyn a town, can you? She's down there in Brooklyn and all the constituents that she totally ignores and has no interest in representing. She's got her own agenda, which is crazy. This whole electric car thing. $44 million to the city of Atlanta from Joe Biden for an electric bus charging station. We've lost our minds. Doesn't mean we shouldn't do some things to try to clean up the environment, but this electric bus thing and all the fires that these batteries are catching on fire in cars, and those electric scooters. Your electric scooter can combust and burn down your apartment, it turns out, and it's happening all the time. Hi, Jimmy, maybe. I'm glad you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our Pop On to Pop Off. Earlier than usual, about 10:40 East Coast time on a Thursday night. Yeah, when the president decides to make sure his political opponent is indicted, you know that we are in a different uh, time in America, in a different time. You know who else did that? Zelensky. Zelensky put his opponent in jail. He also closed down many Christian churches. He's not the great man that they're portraying. And $100 billion to the Ukraine is absolute nonsense. When our own cities are, I saw Gavin Newsom today. He's actually going to go on with Sean Hannity. Sean will promise him some civility, but he will get those questions in that he wants to nail Gavin Newsom with. This is a guy who's outraged over DeSantis almost inferring that if DeSantis comes into California, which he's planning to do, by the way, because he's running for president, that maybe they'd have him arrested. Then he said, "No, I'm not going to do that." But how could someone like Gavin Newsom, who is sat back while the city is destroyed by vandalism, by robberies, who is sat back while the city is destroyed by vandalism, by robbery, by rape, by junkies all over the streets of major cities, Los Angeles, San Francisco. He sat back, uh, totally violated the oath he took, and watch why San Francisco is turned into a war zone in many parts of California. He has no business being governor. He was, challenged for a recall, but once again, the free stuff crowd made sure they didn't lose their governor Newsom. Huh. Shelly H is here. Hi, everybody. Sorry I'm late, but that's okay. I'm glad you're here, Shelly H. And 29 watching now from various spots. Always like to see new people coming on here, and all of our regulars like Rhonda Ledbetter. Yeah. Oh, what else here? CNN fired. I guess that would be Warner Brothers, right? They own CNN now. It's been changed hands more times than your sister. That's something Fred Rubino would say. Sorry, GM. Yeah, that diner's open 24 hours, just like your sister, Fred Rubino, the king of Brooklyn who lives in Florida and New Jersey, but he used to live in Brooklyn. Marjorie Taylor Greene is on right now. Trump indicted on the same day the Burisma scandal potentially was confirmed, which shows, if true, that the president of the United States, Joseph R. Biden, could be guilty of, what's that word that begins with T and ends with N? Yeah, that's the times we live in. But supposedly Don Lemon is thinking there may be an opportunity to come back to CNN as they fire after a year their CEO, Chris Licht. He was let go the other day. He has not been able to get the ratings up, except when he had his Trump town hall. He did finally get rid of Don Lemon, and that was great. But people like Anderson Cooper and Aaron Burnett and Jake Tapper talked to someone else at Warner Brothers, the COO, operating officer, is that? The COO, and ganged up on Chris Licht and persuaded them to get rid of him. Because why would you want on a news station to have opposing views to tell the whole story? You see, Anderson Cooper, Jake Tapper, and Aaron Burnett have long sold out their news credentials, and they're on a mission to get that guy who called them fake news. So that is what is happening there. But supposedly someone high up at Warner Brothers does want CNN to be more of a middle of the road, tell both sides of the story news channel. So hopefully, they didn't always used to be this woke and progressive. You can't allow these people, because there's some great field reporters at CNN. There's some great talent there, but they are often introduced by scum, and that's no good. What are we saying here, Andra? Last Sunday, Pastor Bob said that you shouldn't gossip about him. Just get to know him. And if he gets to know you, we may tell you secrets he doesn't tell everyone. Well, Pastor Bob, I think your secrets are not secrets to, I don't know, 100,000 people or whatever. I am going to update the verdict. That's the plan right now, because being the Bob Joyce storyteller, not the guy who shows a bunch of pictures and roll in video. That's not what I do. I'm the storyteller, and I will have some pictures and maybe a little roll in video too. I'll have Andy help me on this one. Probably will be in two parts. I don't want it to be too long, but there have been right here in 2023 more of those coincidences, more of those facts that lead to a verdict. And so, for the historical record, we want to update the verdict and take that one down, and because there's certainly more than 21 coincidences now. Those of you who watched that video, and over 40,000 did. So we're going to update that, but I'm not looking to become obsessive about this. The thing is, though, I did that Tucker Carlson video today, that Fox News should bring Tucker Carlson back. And as I went to air, it's only got about 40 views because the big Tucker Carlson fans are not really going to even know the video exists. Not that it's some work of art, but I made some valid points. And, you know, uh, the problem is, out of my 3,000 plus subscribers, only a small people are in this family. So I have to do a Bob Joyce video to get some of those 3,000 subscribers. That's why they subscribe. They didn't subscribe to hear talk about Tucker Carlson. Some of them couldn't care less, and I understand that. But for the people who do care about it, they never see the video. So please subscribe and like. That helps me get the word out, and maybe for people to look at other videos. That would be really good. Do ask you to keep someone named Amy in prayer. She has a serious cancer, which I believe has spread. She's not that old. She has a man named Leon, who's a good friend of mine that loves her very much. So I'd ask that the prayer warriors keep Amy in mind as she's battling cancer in upstate New York. She finally had to stop working. She has been fighting this for a while now and going through all kinds of rigorous treatments. She has pain and what have you. It's, cancer is just a terrible thing. It's just a terrible thing. And I think that's pretty much what I have for this edition of Popping On to Pop Off. Yeah, I think that's pretty much what we've got here. Thank you, Shelley B. Yes, keep Amy in prayer and keep Shelley B herself in prayer. She went for birthday, kind of a brunch last Sunday, and she felt some effects from that. She's got health concerns. Our grand matriarch, she experiences health issues, so keep her in prayer. Trump 2024 says Blaine Harold. Well, where are you from, Blaine? Where are you watching us from tonight? And by the way, for those of you watching in the replay, which will be available immediately after we sign off here in the live section of the Virtual Church of the Disillusioned, you're part of the family too. So you can comment right down here, and I will, and maybe someone else will interact with you in the replay. Okay, we did very well in our Saturday night replay so far because the magic words were in there, and we were getting close to 700 views in that, which is good. Nothing like the 74,000 views for the verdict, but we have to. I'm very appreciative for what we have. This is not becoming a moneymaker at this point, but it is what it is, and I have several projects. I have taped the first Radio Jack, great big music show, a 2-hour extravaganza that eventually will be available. Of course, I need to tape a whole lot more shows. And I think I'm going to start the website on GoDaddy that I have the domain name secured and have not used it. So it's time to do that. There's always that fear in finishing the project because then you feel like you've opened Pandora's box, and then you're obligated to deal with all the responsibility that that brings. But that's how you have success, is when you see the project through. Hello, three severed heads. Late to the party, it seems. Yeah, a little bit, but you can always watch the replay as well. Yes, Shelley H. talking. You're from Canada. That's right. God will send rain and put out the fires. Um, yes, we have experienced the smoke here in the Hudson Valley, and certainly New York City. We are clearing up now, and the air was much, much better today. But it's gone all the way down to Georgia. There are remnants of it in Georgia. I heard that from Karen, whose daughter lives in the Peach State, and I know we have people that pop on here from the Peach State, and these have been pretty persistent fires, and so pray for rain in Canada. Pray for a better prime minister as well, I would say. um, am I missing somebody here? Oh, Shelley H. Yeah. Three severed heads. This is just wild, right? I mean, I haven't really seen too much coverage because news networks are so obsessed with politics, they ignore major stories like, showing you footage of the flames. I could find them if I tried to, of what's burning in Quebec. You never know what you're breathing, what this smoke is from. So people were wearing the K95 mask again and everything like that. So this is I have never experienced a couple of days ago, city where I live being enveloped in smoke. The sun was like blood orange, and sometimes you couldn't even see it. And yeah, a lot of people going around wearing a mask and what have you. And if they have respiratory issues and what have you, they're that much more vulnerable. They're that much more vulnerable. Thank you, Lord, for sending rain to quench the fires in Canada. In Jesus' name, amen. 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 Uh, yeah, when we have these California fires, that usually happen when do we usually have the California fires? In the driest season. Seems like it's happened different times of the years. It wouldn't tend to happen in February, that kind of February, March, because they get a lot of rain in California then. Jack, I sent you an email about AI technology. What do you think of it? Shelley, that's Shelley B. I did watch that. I actually did watch that, Shelley B, and I found it very interesting. And I've heard they've talked about this on some of the news channels that, yeah. I guess I would have to think that God would have a hand in making sure that we weren't deceived. What's the scripture that says, if it weren't for the Holy Spirit, uh, even the elect, the children of God, would be deceived. I don't think he's going to let that deception happen. But for those who do not follow the Lord Jesus Christ, they are vulnerable to every used car salesman on the planet, so to speak. Hobdob, yeah, amen. Hobdob is here. So, yeah, this AI, they've done some stories on Fox, and I'm trying to think of who. Oh, well, of course, Elon talked about it, but he's into it. He's into putting a chip in your head. He's part of that technology. Is that the mark of the beast? I don't think so, but they want to study the human being from the inside out, so to speak. And so I don't agree with everything Elon Musk is doing, and it just seems a shame to waste billions of dollars to send a rocket how many feet in the air before it comes crashing down, and everybody like it was King John Un who just did it. Um, they clap in the space control center at that the rocket just was up for a few seconds before it crashed down, and you wasted billions of dollars. I don't know. Where are we trying to go? We've got to save this planet. We're not going to start another successful planet. This is man's vain imaginings. Man's vain imaginings. Most of the planets, of course, would not sustain life. We don't know. Shane Casey is here. Mickey Mouse loves Chinese food. LOL. Okay. Well, all I can say is Mickey Mouse has got some new bosses that are nothing like Walt Disney. Nothing like Walt Disney. He must be turning in his grave. But welcome, Sean Casey, and everybody else. Got 31 watching right now, and I'm running out of things to say. This is not something I prepare heavily for when we do pop on to pop off. But we will be back Saturday night with Worldwide Ramblings at 11 p.m. East Coast time. I should be able to make that time. I'll be fresh back from going to see Debbie Gibson. I think she'll probably make it in now that the air is clearing. Debbie Gibson at the Paramount Theater down the road. Karen wanted to see Debbie, and our friends Sean and Norma are going to join us. We'll have a little dinner first and then go over to Debbie Gibson. I'm not really a fan, to be honest, but Karen has put up with, things I wanted to do that sometimes she didn't want to do and sometimes she did want to do, and had a good time when she got there. But it's not always the case. So, you've got to give and give back, Give. If you want to receive, you become a giver. I suppose that could be considered an ultimatum, but it is one of those things that those who give get blessed for giving. That's one of the spiritual laws. Yeah, I saw what President Trump said on Truth Social. He had, he's not really using Twitter. He still uses he still do what you want to do, Jack. Well, I can't always do that because I have to consider the ramifications of doing what I want to do. And they're not always going to be good. And they're going to maybe destroy someone's life if I make the wrong decision, And so that's a struggle that I face, I was talking to my, sounds funny saying I have a therapist. It's a 15-minute call, and it's basically so that I can get the Xanax that I am now hooked on and have been for many years, but it's a very low dose. So I hear about people taking 2 pills or more. And yeah, you have to worry about things like dementia and stuff like that when you take higher amounts, or maybe even the dose I'm at. I don't know. I can't claim to know. Oh yes, Wayne Newton, Shelley H. How old is Wayne Newton now? He's in his 70s, right? And he's coming to the Sugarloaf Theater September 1st. Karen's not interested in going, and I'm not going to fight her because that saves me about 80 some bucks a ticket. Although if you want to be in the first 14 rows, I think Wayne comes in at like $144 a ticket, and that's before the service fees, But he held the title of Mr. Las Vegas for many years, and I think it would be kind of cool to see him. So again, with our friend, my friends Sean and Norma are going to go see Wayne on September 1st, and the Psychedelic Furs on September the 9th in Connecticut at Foxwoods. That's our small vacation this year. That's our small vacation. I don't think we're going to make Maine this year. Money's tight, and that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. We need Republicans back in the White House. Well, sure we do. Sure we do. I mean, look what has happened in the last 2 years. So many things, so many horrible things have happened, and so many evil people flourishing. Sad. It's really sad. Kathleen. Yeah. I could have used you on that South Carolina, Florida trip, Kathleen, because it's it was certainly diminished by going alone. But Karen was pre-surgery then, and the last thing she needed was for us to get rear-ended or something like that. You never want that, of course. So I went alone because I had a pre-booked hotel that I would have lost the money to, and I did want to get out of New York in late February. Snow was falling, was going to fall the day before I left. So I was in Florida when it was snowing here, and that's kind of what you want. Wayne Newton is an institution, but just like Nicolas Cage, he piddled away all his money, and has always had to keep working over the years, you know. So here he comes to Sugarloaf, New York, where the Bacon brothers were just there. I didn't see him. I had heard Kevin Bacon made some really anti-Republican, pro-woke, pro-whatever statements. And so that solidified it for me. If you're with that crowd, I just I don't feel right about spending my money to see you, you know. So Mickey Dolenz was there. I didn't see him this time. He's getting a little up in years and a little feeble. His voice is not what it used to be, I'm told. And I did see a clip which kind of verifies that, you know. And he's not even 80 yet. You know, some people age faster than others for various reasons. Jimmy has to say goodnight. Work tomorrow. See you Saturday night. Sounds good to me, Jimmy. Trump this fall. You realize the election is next year, right? It's a long way. So, you know, they got time to get him. If they're going to try like hell to do that, they're going to try like hell. And we need Tucker Carlson back on Fox News at 8:00 because he knows how to expose even people that I do like at some level, like Lindsey Graham, war hawks that are so casual about death, you know, and wanted the officers at the Capitol on January 6th to just open fire on everybody that that breached the Capitol instead of arresting them, which would be the normal procedure. He said, "You got guns, use them." So he was fine with Ashley Babbitt being shot in the head, a veteran of the U.S. military with young kids. So yeah, I'm about done with Lindsey Graham. I'm about done with him. And you know, they push and push and push, and someday it's all going to blow up in our face. And we have nowhere to run except into the arms of Jesus Christ. Yeah, well, we'll talk more about the man from Benton, Arkansas. I only present possibilities. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. We'll talk to you Saturday night for Worldwide Ramblings Live. Watch the replay. Thank you, people watching in the replay. Watch for our pre-recorded videos, and please subscribe and like. God bless you all. Talk to you Saturday night.